Alright guys, welcome back. So right now what we're going to be working on is getting the fuel pump all set up. So we've got the fuel pump push rod right here. We've got some RTV to seal the gasket on the inside and the outside of the plate. This plate specifically. And then we've got our little gaskets and our new mechanical fuel pump. I kind of figured that, while we were going and building a new motor, might as well replace fuel pump while we're there, just in case the current one in the car is going bad. No use trying to, replace something that's, it was like a $40 part. So there's no use in not replacing it when it's this cheap. So we're going to go ahead and get all this stuff set up. So I'm going to push the push rod inside the motor. Get that set up right there. That should be on the camshaft. Actually, to make this a little bit easier on myself, I'm going to tilt the motor a little bit so that the push rod stays in. Technically, I could throw something on top of the, not on top of, but on the push rod to kind of like adhere it to the to adhere it to the camshaft, but I don't think it's really worth it. Not when I can just pick this up a little bit, take the weight off my bolt, or put more weight on my bolt, and then just tilt this a little bit, slide my bolt back in. Alright, now I can install the fuel pump and all the stuff that goes along with it with no issues. So we'll go ahead and slide this in here. That should be on the push rod. Now we have to install the outside gasket. So we're just going to place a little bit of gasket maker on the outside of this. Got the little gasket down. I'm just going to check to see. Sorry. I just wanted to see if those bolt holes went all the way through, or if I need to get a little bit of sealant on them. Doesn't look like I do, which is nice. So now it's time for the plate. So we'll put a little bit seam sealer on the outside of this. I said seam sealer, gasket maker. That's done. Put the little plate on here. Right now I should just slide this little guy right down in here. Okay. Maybe not. Okay. I guess I gotta put this little guy back on here. I'm gonna rotate the motor over a little bit. See if maybe the fuel pump eccentric on the camshaft is the fuel pump things where it's out instead of in right now. That's always a possibility. did in fact push the push rod in, so I should be able to get this in right here. And then I have brand new ARP bolts that I put right up here that I'll be using. So first things first, I'm going to use the two little bottom screws to hold the plate in place. Next, I'm going to throw a little bit of gasket maker on the outside of this. And finally, throw a little bit on the inside of the gasket. So I know in a perfect world I shouldn't need to do any of this, but I'd rather do it and make sure the motor doesn't leak than not do it and have to worry about taking all this out when the motor's in the engine. So. First bolt is in. Oh dear. Okay, first bolt was in. Now I'm just making a big old mess. I'm gonna grab a, I think it should be like a 10 millimeter, probably an 8 or something smaller. I'm gonna try 5/16. Where's my little 10? Come on out, 10. I saw you earlier. Actually, I think that might just work. That and the other hand won't. Alright, let me get my little wrenches out. So this gasket maker specifically says not to torque this down, but to just get it a little tight. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get all 4 of these bolts tight, and then I'll come back and I'll torque them all down after this stuff's dried in about an hour or so. Not tight, just yeah, good enough. So not all the way tight. enough that when I, in an hour from now, when I fully compress that, that shouldn't leak at all, which is perfect. Alright, the next step will be to, where's this leaking from? No, there's all this stuff. Okay, so my next step is trying to get this oil pump configured and set up. Because once I get the oil pump, then I can actually get this timing cover on, and then I can start wrapping this motor up. So let's turn this a little bit for you guys. Honestly, not a big fan of that. Well, let's try over here. So apparently my garage floor is not bad. And I don't want this motor to tip over. Okay, that should be fine. Unfortunately, you guys probably won't be able to see it. Perfect view of this, but you'll at least be able to see something. So, over here. Oh, sorry guys. Alright, so right now I'm just looking for the bolt that would hold the oil pump to there. I might actually have it over here in my kit. I just gotta look for it real quick. Alright. I know you guys are getting a nice side view of my head right now. So it looks like I need a bolt. I'll go through right about here. No. So oil pump will sit right about here. So I'm gonna need not that one. Alright. So this is my gasket kit that came with the motor, so let's see. Is it this one? Oh, no. Not. Okay, so I don't think it's any of these ones. Let's keep looking. That doesn't feel right. That was one of those. So this is kind of a very important gasket. So I'm surprised that I'm not seeing one that fits it. Interesting. Okay, so there's no way it's not designed to have one. I guarantee you there's supposed to be a gasket for this. I just can't seem to find it. So I do have the distributor to oil pump connection. I just don't have the gasket that goes right here. Huh. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this video real quick. I'm gonna see if I can find it and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I actually messed up a little bit. Not only did I get the wrong type of oil pickup, I also didn't think about getting an oil pump gasket or the apparently the bolt for this. So there's I don't want to call it special, but there's a bolt that goes up through here through the oil pump, holding it up right here, and it's just one individual bolt and one somewhat special gasket. So I picked up both of those, and they got a new press-in oil pickup, because apparently the oil pump that I got is press-in only. It does not support bolt-in like this. So I messed that up, so I'm going to buy a new one on me, because I messed that up. I should have done better research. It happens. So I'll order the new stuff. I got the new bolt coming, I got the new gasket coming, and I got a new pickup tube coming, but until then, there's not a whole bunch more I can do on this motor. I can get the oil, I can get this little guy installed, which is for the oil filter. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that now, and when I do this, I'm going to use Loctite on this, because this is kind of a pretty special thing. So this is what's holding your oil pump to, or your oil filter to your block. So you want to make sure this stuff doesn't, come out or anything like that. So, crap, I fucked up. I messed up the order of this one. All right. I'm not actually sure if it matters about the order of these, the placement of these. Let me see if there's a gasket for this as well. This feels dirty. I shouldn't just be installing this like this. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Hold on. That looks like it deserves a gasket. It absolutely does. Let me see. I don't see anything inside here for this gasket. What did this gasket kit has so much stuff inside of it, but apparently none of it's useful, which is fun. So it came with a lot of the baser gaskets, but some of this other stuff, it's just telling me to go screw myself. So let's look for a gasket for this. can find the adapter, but it looks like none of them come with the gasket. Let me see if they even use gaskets. Okay, I guess they actually don't use gaskets for this piece, so they just rely on the metal on metal finish. Okay. Cool. Yeah. This I'm going to use my little ratchet for. Okay. Apparently this is a pretty large bolt. Not that large. I love playing find the right socket. So the internet told me between, I think it was 6 and 11 foot-pounds of pressure here. So I'm not going to tighten these down too bad. But I do want to make sure they actually stay on. Alright, so those bolts are good and they're on. Let's make sure that our oil filter fits on there. So I'm not going to screw this all the way down, so I'm not going to lube the gasket. I just want to make sure it fits. Perfect. So that oil filter works. It's actually been a decent amount of time, so I could probably tighten these little guys down. Yeah. Those are in. I have no clue what that bolt is. Let's see, what's left? So I think the only thing remaining is getting the oil pump on here, getting the distributor on, and coolant stuff, and then the front of the motor. So it's coming along. There's actually not all that much left to it. I'm going to go ahead and tip this motor back the way that it needs to be for now. So let's take the weight off of my bolt. And then let's turn it. Alright. I'm just going to leave the crank bolt in here for now because I'm probably going to need it in there. I don't know for what, but with my luck, I always need it. So, put this back on here, and then alright, so that's actually kind of all I can do right now until my new parts come in. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. But at least today we finished getting the fuel pump installed. Got that all set up. Found that we're missing a couple of things, which, while not great, my buddy's still not around, so it's not like it's a huge time issue right now, which is good. I hate being under the gun, but at least we're moving forward. We're this close to getting this motor back together all the way. Like I said, I just need to get the oil pump on, then I can get the oil pan on, then I can get the front timing cover on, and then I guess I can put the rocker covers on, but it doesn't really matter. I'm still sealing it with this plastic bag for now, so yeah, so that's it. I will see you guys whenever my new parts get in so I can finish the installs, but until then I hope you guys take care, and I'll keep working on other projects while I wait for the parts for this one.